bro.
In a good way or in a bad way? Yo, show him Devil in a new dress, bro.
I was gonna show him Cream, but
show him Devil in a new dress.
alright, bro. Fine.
He loves that shit, bro.
Bro, it's a RZA beat, though.
I like Cream too.
You get.
This guy's the GOAT, bro. This guy disappeared off the face of the earth.
Why?
Like, disappeared. I mean, he recreates beats for the Dissect podcast.
Oh, gotcha.
This week we're doing Cream by the Wu-Tang Clan,
This guy's
produced
the
of
GOAT,
course
bro.
by the RZA. And after doing such a big, sprawling, modern track last week, I figured I felt
So he doesn't do this anymore.
No.
Oh, that's alright.
He does, but not like himself. He does for other people.
He makes his beats for other people. Reproduction.
So first that gets pitched up about 6/10 of a semitone. And then there's 3 phrases that get used from that sample. I know you heard that first one, that main piano riff, but first we're going to focus on the intro of the track. What plays before the verses come in, what plays before the drums come in. So there's 2 phrases that get traded off there. First, there's this horn section. And then there's this little vocal section. And these are both 4-beat loops, meaning that every 4 beats, if you start that sample over, you'll get continuous playback, you'll get a loop.
That's a loop.
And in this track, every bar has 4 beats, so that's a good fit. But the way that they're looping this track, that loop doesn't start until the 2nd beat. So it ends up feeling like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And since that vocal sample starts the same way, you can go directly from the horns to the vocals with no gap.
He's gonna love Devil in a new dress, bro.
And after that intro section, it goes right into the main piano loop, which gets looped like this.
You don't want to sit?
I can get another chair.
No, I was
After
just
first bringing out
checking.
those few bass notes
Like
with a
an
little
Uber one,
EQ,
Yeah.
we add even more low end by layering the
Shit,
kick.
bro. They said Leader Survival 140,
Right on
I'm
top
gonna be
of the piano.
upset, bro.
Simple ass drums, bro.
That's it?
Yeah, he just added a kick.
And that's pretty much everything. Like I said, it's a
That's the whole
simple
beat?
track.
That's the whole beat.
Classic
Bro, this video is
nonetheless,
like
and I'll go ahead and play you the
4 minutes, bro.
version right here, but-
When I told you that a lot of your favorite beats are like the simplest shit
That's the end of the
ever,
video, bro.
That's crazy.
bro.
This is the whole beat.
One sec. Now, if you want like a complex ass beat, bro,
That's
Bro, just go. Okay. Sorry.
now this one.
aim in the video. That's double.
But he does everything, like piano, drums, everything, bro.
So that's the sample.
Yeah.
Man, Bink is a genius, bro.
I know, bro.
So first that gets pitched up 1 semitone. Then to make some room for the bass we're gonna add, we get rid of the low end, cut out everything below, say,
This video is
250
low quality,
hertz.
or is that
Then we
good,
want it
bro?
to sound bright and airy, so we hype the highs a little bit. Starts to sound like this. And there's 2 other samples from this track that Bink used. We've got this one. And this one.
Bro, you still waiting for the food, bro?
And what's great about the sections he picked is that in the original track, they couldn't be further apart. You've got one at like 2 minutes, one at 3.5, one at 4.5. They're all over the place. They have absolutely nothing to do with one another. But he heard these different parts and he knew he could build something from them. And the way he puts them together, it sounds like a singular thing. It sounds like that's how it always was. But in the original track, it's just totally different. So let's go ahead and see how he puts those together.
That's crazy, no?
Pretty cool, yeah.
The drums in this track are sort of made to sound live. They sound like real drums, and they've got this sort of laid-back, almost lazy feel to them. We've got our kick, a snare, some hi-hat sounds, some toms, and a crash cymbal. So I'll go ahead and play the drum pattern once on its own, then bring in the sample.
You hear these drums, you wouldn't even recognize the song.
Yeah, I could have.
Except for maybe the toms, if you're listening closely. Like this part, maybe recognizable.
My God, bro. Put your hands to the constellations. The way you look should be a sin. You my sensation. I know we preach it to the congregation. We love Jesus, but she done learned a lot from Satan.
Next up is the bass line played live by Mike Dean, and it pretty much mirrors the bass from the original track. He just put his own spin on it.
Just gonna shed it here, bro.
Oh God, bro.
On top of that, we've got some synthesized strings. They follow some melodies in the sample, layer in right on top, and help bring those out to the forefront. So let's hear those strings once they're on their own, then I'll bring in the sample. About halfway through the track, we hit this breakdown. Things sort of slow down, and this piano comes in.
That's crazy. The chords aren't even that like complex, bro. Simple ass chords.
And then we've got a couple different guitar parts. Of course, just like the bass and the piano, played by Mike Dean. First, we've got these short chords.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, saxophone. It's gonna be you, bro.
And then we've got a part that pretty much plays the same thing as the bass, just on guitar.
Damn, bro. This guy's talented too, bro. He's playing that shit well. Damn, bro.
And then, of course, the guitar solo, which I tried my best at. It turned out okay, so here it is.
It's gotta be you by next week, bro.
Yo, I seen you with the guitar already, bro.
Funny enough, the song you're trying to play.
I know. That's the only other song I know with the guitar solo, bro.
Yo, just hear this drop, bro. Oh my God, bro.
That's art, bro.
That's beautiful, bro. Man.
That covers all the elements to this track, and I'll go ahead and play the finished sequence version in just a minute here. But before
Shut
I
up, bro.
do-
Yeah.
Shut up, bro. I love you.
The spaceships.
Come back to me, please.
Come back to it, bro. Man.
When was his last upload? Go back.
Oh, fact, you wanna know the...
It's probably been at least like 6 years, bro.
No, it's been more, bro. His last upload was
Years ago.
Through the Wire 8 years ago.
Damn.
Bro, he
Oh,
just,
he did. Episode 9, episode 42 was there.
No, he re-uploaded it.
that was a re-upload?
No, episode 9 is a re-upload.
Oh, word. Big Pimpin' was his last one?
Timbaland.
That's kind of crazy. Sway, No More Parties in LA, Lucifer, Sing About Me, We Don't Care, Loving It, Spaceships, Hotline Bling, Devil in a New Dress. Bro,
John Cena, The Time Is Now breakdown.
Time Is Now,
Yeah,
crazy.
click on it, bro. He's actually tough, bro.
And that marker, and that by Pete. So first we pitched that up a little under half a semitone, and then to get the main loop, we split that first half into 2 big pieces.
Oh, John Cena, bro.
this beat is tough, bro.
And that's the loop that makes up the
This
hook.
could've very-
So
this could've
at the end of the verse,
easily been a
switches up
Jay-Z
a little
beat, bro.
bit.
I
So
know.
let's take the second half of that sample and split it into 4 pieces.
Who produced this?
Jake One.
Except we'll rearrange it like this. On top of that, we need the sample from the very end of the track.
That's the end of the actual sample, bro.
That's the beginning.
Now this part of the track is in a slightly different key than the other sample.
need
So once
to
we pitch it down an extra
okay,
semitone,
picked it
we can
up.
chop it
Fire.
up like this.
12:57.
That's in 5 minutes. Fuck yeah. Yo, we killed it, bro.
I guess there wasn't that many drivers on here.
On its own, that gives us the intro. And then if we layer that on top of the switch up from earlier, we finish up that second part of the verse. The drums in this track are pretty classic Jake One. The sounds
Yeah,
cut
the
through the
acapella,
sample,
bro.
and the programming's open enough to really let the sample breathe. And we've just got a couple of different sounds. We've got a kick, an 808 that's tuned to the key of the song,
You
a
did that,
snare,
bro.
and this hi-hat.
You tuned the 808 to the key to the song, bro.
So I'll go ahead and play the drum pattern once on its own, and then I'll bring in the sample.
There's no way you know this is the time is now, bro. Actually, no, I can't hear it.
Definitely easier with more distinct noises, but
A few times throughout the track, we hear these sound effects and vocals that come from the song Annie Up by M.O.P.
different sample.
Ah, okay, I know what that is. That's it.
So now let's hear how that fits with the intro sample.
Combination.
When did they just think of this shit, bro?
They're just fucking around,
So that
bro.
covers all the elements of this track, and I'll go ahead and play the
Facts,
finished
bro.
sequence
How did
version
we
in just
just
a
cook
minute
up
here.
some shit? We're
But
just fucking around,
just
bro.
give me I'm gonna do shit.
That's just a freestyle, bro.
Time is now, bro.
Time is now. Yo, what time is Uber coming? Yo, the time is now, bro.
54, bro, 3 minutes. Let me check, maybe it's running later. Come on, it is. Alright,
Bam, bam, bam.
Alan's put a freestyle, bro.
This guy fell asleep.
No, we got one viewer, bro.
The one from before?
Don't worry, bro. As long as there's one there, that's all that matters.
Bro, sometimes we are the only viewers we need, bro.
We are
the world.
Yo, chill, bro.
We'll just watch real quick.
But do your thing, bro. Jake, I don't even know. To be honest, like, it was a while until I realized it was like a Jake One production, bro. Yeah, shout out Jake One, bro.